these are my landscapes, okay? They express different kinds of emotional weather.
For me to play Poonam is actually a huge privilege because you're trying to tell the story of a strong woman of that time who did whatever was in her capacity to help people.
And you're now phenomenal.
Go ahead.
Taaruk, Thomson, you have played Kantilal. And how did your theatre experience come into play?
Honestly, every ounce of my theatre experience came into play. I think everyone in their life at some point has been an underdog. And that feeling, the power you hold as an underdog is unbeatable.
It is immersive, created from scratch. It is felt. And they have owned it. You can see it on screen.
Bhawsheel, as Hari, what were some of the key challenges in bringing him to life, especially where every decision has deep consequences?
Whoa.
That was the deep expression.
Processing.
Thank you, Bhawsheel. Next. The poster says that he was blindfolded. Allah Bakhsh's character is not blindfolded.
Allah Bakhsh is somebody who's very honest, somebody who's very impulsive.
As a musician, I would tell you that the BGM is so beautifully lifting up the entire project.
I have to spend one moment in just saying that Sameer did the tracks before the shoot. I find it disrespectful to go to the music director with a reference music and say, "Aisa banao, aisa copy karo." That's not the way it should work.
Welcome to another episode of the Thomson Andrews Show, Unscripted Journeys, where we dive into compelling stories, uncover hidden truths, and celebrate the magic of cinema. Today, we are honored to have a stellar lineup. SonyLIV's much-awaited historical drama, The Waking of a Nation, a gripping tale set against the backdrop of Jallianwala Bagh and the fight for truth. Joining us is the visionary director, Mr. Ram Madhvani, and the co-producer, Nikita Madhvani ma'am, to discuss this creative vision and project that they've really put their heart and soul to. And of course, we have the very talented and incredible cast. Taaruk Raina, we have Nikita Dutta, we have Sahil Mehta, and we have Bhawsheel Singh. So welcome to the Thomson Andrews Show.
Thank you.
And I want to tell you all that you guys have done a fantastic job. I turned on my television last night and I watched the links that were sent to me. 2 episodes, I cried. And it was so emotional, the entire journey, friendship, the little that I seen in the entire 2 episodes, just the emotions, just the feel. I was literally in that, I was not in 2025, I was in that entire era, feeling all of your characters. I'm like, kya hai isme bhai? Because I'm not really driven towards historical dramas. I watch a lot of horror stuff and all, extremely quirky stuff. So this was absolutely so relatable and phenomenal job. So please clap for yourselves.
Yes, and to the team.
I think that's great. And I think that's the first thing that I told Ram sir as well, saying that, you know what, I think to have, to make a series that is relatable to somebody who's not necessarily driven to historical drama is brilliant.
Thank you so much.
So I want to ask you on your...
I'm happy I made you cry.
No, absolutely, and I'm very happy. That's the reason why I have. I'm even more excited to talk to you on different aspects of the series. Ram sir, you directed critically acclaimed projects like Neja and Arya.
They were popular also.
Absolutely, and phenomenal.
We must not forget.
Phenomenal work. What was the most challenging part of recreating the world of colonial India, especially for a generation like now in 2025?
Well, Meghna Gandhi is my production designer. Thea is our costume designer. I think Thea has worked with me for many years, and including Neja and Arya. And they know that when I'm creating a world, I'm not recreating a world. I'm not doing it so that you're watching it as if, this is how it should look like, because, at that time, this is what they used to be less crowd. At that time, so I don't do that. It should feel like as if it's today. You should feel like as if you are actually living in 1919. And so therefore, in the detail with which we do a lot of detailing, I don't use CG, I don't use lights, there's no computer graphics, there's no sets. Because what you have to do is you have to smell the place. The sweat of the stone of the building has to be inside the frame. So if you're feeling that you are inside the world, it's thanks to them, and it's also because of the way we approach the work, which is, otherwise what happens, it's a period film, therefore you have to now, you know, make it look like this, and you have to make people talk like that, and oh, how beautiful the lighting is, and it's too formalized. If you're living in that period, it's like saying if you're living in 1980 or 1970s, people when we were living in 1970s did not, you know, sort of live in a formal way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So that was the attempt, and I'm happy that you felt that you were inside the period. You're not meant to be outside observing it, you're meant to be inside living it.
It's an immersive experience, and I also know that you approach cinema with a very humanist kind of a thought process.
Well, in the sense that I'm interested in, really, like I keep saying, the landscape of the human face. These are my landscapes, okay?
Phenomenal.
Yeah, phenomenal landscapes that they have. They express different kinds of emotional weather. And that weather is something which is what moves the audience when they see it. So this is really the people who actually were very young, very talented cast. I would never work with anybody else. If I was asked again, would you choose anybody else? No, like really hats off to me.
Yes, hats off. And you know, I want to ask you in terms of, was it challenging to kind of make it absolutely authentic in terms of your, you know, everything that has happened and the way you depicted it, because it and especially relatable to the modern world, you know, even as a creative producer and as the cast, what were the challenges?
Well, I don't want to hog it, but basically I just want to say that I think authenticity and research is to be taken for granted. Of course we'll be authentic, of course we'll be research oriented, of course you must look like it's believable. And I think that therefore that must happen. So thanks to Amita, who is the co-producer on the job and in some ways the protector of my work. She knows the way I approach it, and then make sure that the team is there to actually, you know, sort of, so let her speak rather than me.
Yes.
I must always speak.
Absolutely. We'd love to know, you know, your vision and how, you know, this entire thing came about as a creative.
Well, actually, I've been part of Ram's process for a very long time. I'm married to him, so I know a lot more. But if you put the creator and the director on one side, and the way he approaches anything about his work, it is immersive. It is created from scratch. It is felt. And after feeling, it is written in a script. So if you're part of that process, you know that everybody who's going to be joining that team has to have that feeling. Yeah. Because without that feeling, they will not be able to connect. And if they can't connect, they can't create. So the processes which are part of the workshop, the casting, the detailing, these lovely characters who have owned this space is because of the basic homework that's been done. So it's a lot of circling around little things, and you have to just allow, and sometimes it takes a little longer and sometimes it can, but it should. I believe in that. That's where the creativity shines. And once he owns that space, anybody who will enter it will automatically own it. And they have owned it. You can see it on screen. So, I mean, just knowing that itself, you just have to be there to protect and allow that process to happen. You should interfere.
I must also mention SonyLIV, and that they protected the work, and Shogoto and Ganesh and Gaurav, they've been there and they protected this, and like, you know, so thank you SonyLIV for backing us and for supporting and for protecting us. So
lovely, and thank you for that insight. That was really wonderful.
Go ahead.
Taaruk, Thomson, you have played a wonderful role as Kantilal, and just the emotions and the seriousness as a very young actor as you. How did your theatre experience come into play, and what are your aspects from your personal life that you could relate to this character?
I think, honestly, every ounce of my theatre experience came into play. The way the shoot process was, you know, the way we were performing in System 360 again, where, you know, it's we go for very longish takes at a time, you know, so that we kind of get to live that moment. We get fully immersed in it. Just performing for that long at a stretch, staying in character for that long, I think it took every ounce of my body to do that, or even try an attempt to do that. Personally, I think, I mean, there's always, in every part that you play, there's always a part of yourself, what we were talking about earlier, what you were saying. And of course, it's, you know, I think everyone in their life at some point has been an underdog.
True.
And that feeling, the power you hold as an underdog is unbeatable. When you are someone who has nothing to lose, it's very hard to beat. And I think I've been in that position a lot in my life. And playing the character of Kantilal Sahni, I think he is also at a point where he has lost everything he had to lose. And that's when he fights back. So I think that is something that really kind of helped me, you know, play that part.
Lovely. And I
Well said, yeah, very well said.
Very nice.
Very well said. And you also, besides the acting talent that we all can see in the series, you've also sung, you know, beautifully. And I've also known you as a singer before. Tell us a little about that.
I mean, I was fortunate enough that Ram sir, you know, said that, you know, you should sing the songs. It's very different from the music I make or sing. We had a wonderful, wonderful teacher who kind of took me through all the...
Shruti Vishwanath is her name, and she and Samiruddin, who's the music director.
Shruti and Samiruddin, actually, they just helped me so much to understand. Actually, it wasn't, after a point, it's not even about the technical aspects of the songs or the music. It is about evoking that emotion, that connection to the soil, that centering of your body, that connection to your soul, and that song and how it expresses and how it kind of conveys the message that we are trying to convey in the series.
True.
And in that situation, so you know, Shruti really helped me kind of understand that core emotion that you have to feel. You know, block out the noise and purely feel that. And I think the verses of the Kabir's songs just...
So the melodies are by Samir, the lyrics are timeless and they come from Kabir. And I think that the idea of folk is that, you know, because if you can tap into that in yourself, then folk music, you know, reaches out. Yeah.
Lovely, lovely. And just as a musician, I would tell you that the BGM is so beautifully lifting up the entire project in terms of all the...
I have to spend one moment in just saying that Samir did the tracks before the shoot. Yeah. So by reading the scripts, I don't ever get the music director to do it after. I don't use reference tracks.
Also a process.
Yeah.
Wow.
So no reference tracks are used by the editors. So he creates long pieces of music, and which he's created after just reading the script, and then it's later after we've cut it, then he embellishes it. But otherwise, I find it disrespectful to go to the music director with a reference music and say, aisa banao, aisa copy karo. That's not the way it should work. So in fact, sometimes in the commission, I played the music because we called it the conspiracy theme. And we played it in a way which allowed us to visualize how to shoot it. So I played to the whole team, and Samir therefore is not just like, you know, somebody who's creating music. To me, he is a co-actor.
Indeed. Yeah. Because he understands your vision, and then he brings that.
And therefore, if at times if the actor is like, you know, because you don't need to perhaps be dramatic about it, because I know the music will be dramatic. You can just play real. You don't have, because if you're going to play dramatic and the music is going to be dramatic, then we've got melodramatic.
Yeah, there's too much happening.
And although I don't know why they call it melodramatic, it should not be mellow at all.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you for sharing that, Taaruk. And Nikita, your character Poonam plays a pivotal role in this male-dominated era. You know, so how did you approach portraying a woman's resilience, especially at that time, and to understand that character and to...
She is like that only now.
If you say so.
Let me rephrase.
Yeah.
I would say just plain, you know, to play this character as Poonam.
Yeah.
What was your process to understand Poonam as a character and as an actor to kind of portray that?
Okay, fair. Well, Poonam is actually this woman in that era who is bold, fierce, who is at the same time, she's got her head in place. She's very strong headed. And you know, that's something I really appreciate about all the women characters that Ram sir writes. They have a lot of substance. And you can't take them lightly. And it's not like one of those in your face bold characters, you know, where she's going to talk loudly, she's going to probably go abuse people, hit people. No, she's not that person. She's actually a very calm person. She's a very logical, very realistic person. And that is not something that has anything to do with era. That can be a woman of today, that can be a woman of yesterday. We've just tried to show that there is this woman, of course it's a fictional character, there is this woman in this entire scenario, in this time, who is doing her bit. And it's gone unaccounted for, of course. That's again an inspiration that we've taken. For me to play Poonam is actually a huge privilege that any actor can ask for, especially as a woman, because you're trying to tell the story of a strong woman of that time who did her bit, who did whatever was in her capacity to help people
And
around.
phenomenal.
That's of course with all the help that I've bought from them. This is about Poonam, and of course whatever comes with it, the process of it, as he rightly said, there are lots of workshops we went through. There was my dialect that was worked on, my look was worked on. There's an entire team, there's an army of people behind Ram sir who's actually working to put together all of this.
Two of them are sitting there. There's Udayan,
Yes,
who's
there's
our
Udayan,
creative
there's
VP.
Rajiv.
There's Rajiv, who's our associate director. These are the people who actually, there's
And there's
Bidul, who's my
Ankita.
DA, who's there. There's Ankita is here. These are the people who make our team, and along with some strong women.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yes. So I feel like all of this put together is the Poonam that you're actually seeing through my face. Yeah, so this was all a huge help.
Lovely. Thank you for that insight.
As long as you don't say.
All right.
So happy.
All right. So wonderful. And Sahil, your character, Ali Allah Baksh, brings a different perspective to the story. Like, you know, I think balancing friendship and also an ideology clash. What was your approach to portraying this conflict?
I think Allah Baksh is somebody who's very honest. You know, maybe somebody who's very impulsive. Like he knows maybe his actions would, cause a conflict or something. But he's so impulsive, and he's bold enough to go and follow it. But yes, such is life. You know, sometimes we cannot do what we want to, and we need to take care of our actions also. But again, like, the script told me everything. It's there, like what we need to do and what not. So he was.
And I'll interrupt for a minute because the poster says that he was blindfolded. Allah Baksh's character is not blindfolded. That is the difference between the two of them. You know, his eyes.
That was because of the conflict between
His eyes are open, and this is actually he's trying very hard to open his eyes.
We kept on asking, obviously, as for the script, whose side are you on?
Yeah.
You know, and especially, being childhood friends, and then, your ideologies go different ways. So that was an interesting insight, and now that you mentioned it.
He's one of the people who's a catalyst to awaken, as Hari is another catalyst, as Poonam is another catalyst. These are all catalysts to awaken, in some ways, somebody who is part of the waking of one man and the nation.
Yeah.
So
Bhawsheel, as Hari, is a strong and rooted character as per what I also experienced while watching the series. What were some of the key challenges in bringing him to life, especially where every decision has deep consequences?
Whoa.
That was the deep expression.
Processing.
thank you, Bhawsheel. Next.
क्या लगा?
Deep consequences, maybe because he comes from a place of violence. Now he wants to set on the path of non-violence. So that change in ideology is very difficult for Hari. Also, maybe he lost something in the war with which he has to live for the rest of his life.
Actually, he becomes a pacifist. rather than becoming violent.
Yeah.
He sees so much violence that he has lost his arm, but you can see he's the most humanist of the lot. He's somebody who's actually the most sthir. He's the most compassionate. Here's one man who's a fiery, sort of let's get out there, inqilab kind of feeling. Here's another man who's naive and innocent to begin with. And here's a third who's trying to bring these two together in a way in which he's actually a calming presence, though he's
He
seen the
wants to
most
hold on
violence.
to it, no.
Yeah.
He wants to hold on up, losing what
He knows what loss is.
he knows what
Maybe,
loss is. Yeah.
maybe if it was the same Hari who was in the Great War, he would have picked up the weapon, because a lot of things are happening during that 5 days of April 1919. But where maybe the previous Hari would have picked up the weapon and started going for it, but he did not. Of course, some things happen in the show, but I think
Which he regrets.
Gandhiji was a big inspiration. Matlab, of course, he is an inspiration for the entire nation. But for the change of ideology in Hari's character, it's because of that path of Satyagraha which he decides to walk on. But great question यार, मतलब मैंने ऐसे सोचा नहीं. Every decision.
बहुत देर बैठ के सोचना पड़ेगा तुम्हें अभी क्या हुआ है.
More important.
And a great answer, yeah.
Great answer. Well, let's break the ice a little. थोड़ा सा एक game खेलते हैं. So this game is called Freedom Fighters of Fictional Characters. Okay. So I am going to give you the name of a guest, and you have to say whether he's an actual freedom fighter or he or she is a fictional character.
Brain stops working in these situations.
अभी देखना
Uddam Singh, आपका general knowledge में test करने वाला हूँ.
He's a real
Freedom fighter. Okay, great.
He was actually a revolutionary.
Ishwar Das Bhandari.
चलो बच्चों.
There was an Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. There's no Bhandari.
So we don't.
Is that fictional?
I think it's fictional.
You're right.
Yeah.
सर देखा है.
एकदम Ram is cheating.
Is it that side versus this side?
No.
Oh, it's just
It's open to anybody.
Let's be competitive now.
But to Keshwar Dutt.
Yeah,
That's real,
freedom
that's
fighter,
real.
freedom fighter.
All right.
He dropped the bomb, right, with Bhagat Singh.
Yeah.
Rameshwar Prasad Sharma.
I think that's fictional.
R.P. Sharma.
Sounds like a sweet shop in Delhi. No, I didn't mean that. I love it. Like that.
I'm seeing a different side of Nikita now.
Sorry.
Sweet.
I'll tell you what, Nikita has got the sweet tooth.
I do.
But she was right. She's right.
There is a
All right.
sweet shop, right? Ravish.
And it's a fictional character.
Correct,
So you're right.
correct.
See, he's right. All right.
Yay!
Kartar Singh Sarabha.
Sarabha. Yeah, freedom fighter.
All right.
Oh, we should make a biopic on Kartar Singh Sarabha.
Coming up next, SonyLIV.
Before Bhagat Singh.
Yeah, I know he's telling me this.
All right. Gopal Krishna Gokhe.
Yeah.
Okay. Shyam Sundar Verma.
Mukherjee.
You don't know Shanti.
No, there's no somebody like that.
Maybe you've changed the surname.
हाँ लेकिन वो fictional.
Also, Shyam will never have Verma as a surname.
Exactly. Shyam Sundar से ये.
Shyam Verma.
You seem like a name reader.
Tricky like that. Yeah.
अच्छा. Khudiram Bose.
Huh? Freedom fighter.
Khudiram Bose.
Freedom fighter.
Okay, one last one. Deepak Awasthi.
Today's guy.
I don't know.
I wouldn't know.
Awasthi is my father was a freedom
Amita's
fighter.
father's name is Awasthi and he was a freedom fighter. But his
So
name
I
is
would
not
say
Deepak.
PN Awasthi that तुम पहुंच गए PN you needed to add.
अच्छा.
That would have
But
made
it's
it
a
the right
fictional
answer.
character.
It is fiction.
Oh, he is, yeah.
All right. Quick.
But we were good, huh?
Yes, please clap for yourself.
Yes. I don't think we got a single one wrong.
Yeah, we
Yes,
didn't.
yes,
We
yes.
didn't.
Yes, all
All
right.
right. Yeah.
Well done, team.
There was some lovely humor
मिठाई
on
की
the
दुकान
shop
she
as
came
well.
in.
So, okay, I also got to ask one question, but thank you so much, you guys. I have been so much
Thank you
fun.
so much. We should have done this longer, but I know that you're getting eyes from there. But thank you.
No,
for
but I
all
think
the energy.
everybody's
Yeah.
loving it because you
Girls
guys are
had a
also
good time.
laughing.
Yes.
But definitely do watch the series on SonyLIV releasing very soon.
March
And
7th.
March
March 7th, SonyLIV, and I'm telling you, it's an absolute blast to watch all of these guys on screen. And as much as these guys are fun, but you will really see the emotions coming out in this series. So thank you, and I wish you all.
Thank you for having
Thank
us.
you. That was
Thank
very
you
sweet.
so
That
much.
was lovely.
Thanks.
Genuinely, thank you.